Hi everyone, so today I'd like to share with you a sort of project, a side project, which is going to tie in with the electric bike motor controller which I'm developing. So if we go back to the previous video I made about the controller I'm developing, I mentioned that I'm separating it into two distinct sections. So all the logic electronics are going to be on the top board, and then underneath will be the power stage, which is basically how most inverters in electric vehicles are organised. On the bottom, you'll usually have your power stage with the gate drivers, current sensing, temperature sensing, and all the rest of it. Then on top, you've got your control board. This design is not yet finished. I'm not getting much time to do that just because of work and then trying to get my house in a more livable condition. I know some people are frustrated that it's taking so long, and I'm just as frustrated about that as everyone else is. But my idea is, while I'm working on this project, I can actually just use these boards and just for my own testing, put them into an inverter from an electric car. If I just get a Outlander plug-in hybrid inverter or a Prius inverter, take out its control board, find out how reverse engineer the pinouts and connect this to it, I'll probably be able to control the inverter, and then do an electric car project, because I've always wanted to have an electric car where I can have the manual gearbox as well. So this motor, which you saw at the start of the video, this is out of a Mitsubishi Outlander. It's the rear motor. So I got this off eBay for just under £250, and it had the differential on the front as well. But that's mostly useless to me. It's a fairly big, well, it's smaller than I was expecting. See, so here's my hand and here's the front of the motor. It's for something that supposedly kicks out 60 kilowatts. It's absolutely tiny. You'd be hard pushed to, I think only like very, very high performance engines, like high performance motorcycle engines, can output the same sort of power and the same weight. So it was an absolute steal for the price. So this is a rear drive motor of the Mitsubishi Outlander, and I've confirmed that it's not an induction motor, which is good. So my controller will be able to run this no problem, because when you try and turn the shaft, it does sort of, it cogs a bit, it settles in different positions, and an induction motor would just turn totally smoothly. I did try and connect an electric bike controller to it. Now this is a 400, well, roughly 350 volt motor, and it did spin the motor up, and then the controller went bang. But I kind of knew that would happen because just the inductive, just the huge inductance of this motor, probably, they just created huge voltage spikes and fried it. So I'm thinking about just putting this motor in a Vauxhall combo van, and there's a company near me which actually does electric vehicle conversions, and they would handle all the battery boxes for me, and things like that. So a 60 kilowatt motor in a Vauxhall combo van, it'd be pretty cool, I'd imagine. But the only issue is that I can see is just the cost of that project. But because I'm handling a lot of the controllers and stuff myself, I'm going to save quite a bit. So yeah, I reckon with good cooling and a nice big radiator, this motor might be able to handle more. But it's a fairly small spline on there. And obviously whatever that connects to inside the differential, I can just remove that and give it to the company. They'll do the adapter plate and everything and connect it to a gearbox for me. But that project is quite a while away, but I'm fairly excited about it. So just as a little experiment, I'm going to connect it up to a much higher voltage rated controller and see if it hopefully doesn't blow that. Right, well, hopefully I've not missed any connections. Actually, fits perfectly to this motorcycle controller. This one's a 72 volts, so I'm running at half its rated voltage, so it should be able to absorb any spikes, I'm hoping. It's not starting up. There's maybe something I've missed. Here we go. Let's try it this time. Well, that survived, so I was just running it on a little bit over 40 volts just with these two batteries here, so I'll just stop doing that so they don't discharge too unevenly. So yeah, that works. And another reason for me wanting to do my own electric car project is because, well, when my i3 that I've got buggers up, that means I'm totally dependent on like the BMW workshops to try and fix it. If I cannot fix it myself, and it's just going to cost thousands of pounds potentially. So I want an electric car which I can work on almost totally myself. Now imagine if this thing gets stuck at the side of the road, the inverter's burst, and rather than getting a tow, well, just imagine I could take this and run it on about, I don't know, 72 volts, and then limp the car back up the road if it's not too far from the house. It's sort of like just what people did ages ago with their petrol cars or diesel cars. If they knew how to work on them, they would work on them a little bit at the side of the road, and off they would go again. So I'm kind of wanting something like that. But yeah, that's all I've got for you at the moment. This will just go into storage for a while, and once I've got the funds and the time for this next project, I'm not going to give up on the electric bike controller. As I said, I'm still going to be working on that. This will just be like a sort of little side thing once I get the time.